Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our Special Needs Corner. Today, we're going to pull back the giant velvet curtain on a world filled with soaring music, incredible drama, and stories that are larger than life. Yep, we are diving headfirst into the grand world of opera. So, how do you even begin to build an opera? Well, we've got a roadmap for our journey today. First, we'll tackle the big question: what even is opera? Then we'll look at its musical blueprint, the words and the notes that form its foundation. After that, we'll meet the stars of the show, the amazing voices that bring it all to life. And finally, we'll explore how that spectacular world gets built right there on the stage. Sound good? Let's get started. All right, first up, what is opera? Let's really dig into this. When you hear that word, what comes to mind? We're about to discover why it's called a complete art. Okay, so at its heart, opera is all about telling a story using music. I want you to imagine your favorite big epic movie. But now, imagine the characters are singing every single line with the power of a huge orchestra backing them up. That's kind of what we're talking about. It's called a complete art because it literally smashes everything together. You did a story as deep as a great novel, visuals as stunning as a painting, music that hits you right in the feels, and all the drama of a live play. It's the whole shebang, all in one incredible experience. So where did this wild idea even come from? Well, let's go back in time. Picture this. It's the Renaissance in Italy. A group of brilliant artists, musicians, and poets known as the Florentine Camerata get together in a room. They were completely obsessed with the plays of the ancient Greeks, those big, powerful dramas performed in stone amphitheaters. They looked at that and thought, how can we make stories feel that epic again? And they landed on an answer. Let's combine our stories with music. And just like that, the idea for opera was born. So now that we have a feel for what opera is, let's see how one is actually put together. This brings us to our second section, the musical blueprint. Every single opera stands on two essential pillars: the words of the story and the musical notes that bring those words to life. First things first, you need a story, right? In opera, that story, the script, is called the libretto. It literally means little book in Italian. Think of it as the screenplay for the opera. It has every single word that's going to be sung, from hello to the big dramatic confessions. And the person who writes it, they're called a librettist. They're the original storyteller. So the librettist finishes the story and hands that little book over to the composer. The composer's job is to wrap music around those words, and the result is what we call the score. This thing is the master instruction manual for the entire show. It's not just notes on a page, it tells every single musician and singer exactly what to do, which note to play, which word to sing, how loud or soft to be, and what emotion to convey. It's the musical soul of the entire opera. Now, within that score, you'll mostly hear two different styles of singing. On one hand, you've got recitative. This is basically sung dialogue. It sounds a lot like heightened melodic talking, and its job is to move the story forward. This is where characters have conversations, make plans, and where all the action happens. But then you have the aria. An aria is where the action stops. A character walks to the center of the stage, the spotlight hits them, and they pour their heart out in a big, beautiful song. It's all about their deepest feelings: love, rage, sorrow, joy. This is the show-stopping moment, the song that you just can't get out of your head. We've got our words, we've got our music, but who actually brings it to life? Well, that leads us to section 3, the voices of opera. In opera, the human voice is the main event. It's treated like the most incredible instrument of all. And just like an orchestra has its high, bright violins and its deep, rumbling double basses, opera needs a whole range of voices to tell its story. Let's break them down. For the female voices, at the very top, we have the soprano. This is the highest female voice, and it sounds bright, clear, and soaring, kind of like a flute. This is almost always our heroine. Just below her is the mezzo-soprano, whose voice is a bit warmer and richer in tone. And then we have the contralto, the lowest female voice. It's incredibly rare and has this deep, dark, velvety quality. Contraltos often play wise older women or sometimes villains. On a male side, the highest voice is the tenor. It's a powerful, ringing voice that you often hear from the romantic hero. Below him is the baritone, a really common and versatile middle-range voice. And at the very bottom of the scale is the bass. This is the lowest human voice possible. It's deep, it's resonant, it rumbles like the foundation of a building. Basses are your kings, your gods, and your powerful old fathers. Okay, we are so close. We have our story, our music, and our amazing singers. But where in the world is all this happening? That brings us to our final and maybe most magical section, setting the grand stage. This is all about building the physical world of the opera. The world of the opera is built using three key things. First, let's talk about scenery. The scenery is the backdrop, the world itself. It could be a massive painted castle with towering stone walls, or maybe a lush green forest with twinkling lights that look like fireflies. The scenery instantly tells us where and when we are. Then you have the costumes. These tell us who the characters are. A queen might wear a heavy gown of deep purple velvet, trimmed with glittering gold thread and a sparkling crown on her head. A poor flower girl, on the other hand, might wear a simple, patched-up dress made of rough linen. The clothes tell their story before they even sing a note. And finally, you have the props. These are the objects the characters hold and use. A secret letter, a poisoned drink, a gleaming sword. A simple prop can become the most important thing in the entire story. All three of these, the scenery, the costumes, and the props, work together to create a completely believable world on stage. So there you have it, from the first word written by the librettist to the final note sung by the soprano, all the way to the design of a single costume. Every little piece works together to create one huge emotional experience. It really is a complete art. So that leaves me with just one question for you. If you could create your very own opera, what story would you tell? Thanks so much for watching.